So a lot of people say when talking about business and we're solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, that we are the personal brand, and there's a very much narrative and a language around you are not your business. So it might feel like we are our business when we are a solopreneur, as if we have a personal brand. But what the business needs from you is not necessarily always conducive to, it doesn't always match your needs or what you are good at or what you want to do. So we often, as entrepreneurs, we start a business because of a thing that we want to do. So my first business was as a cake maker, a wedding cake maker, and I was really good at making cakes. And I wanted to make cakes and I enjoyed it and it was my hobby. And I quit my job to start my business making cakes. And very quickly it, transformed into making wedding cakes. And when running the business, I was very fortunate that I had a background of working for a marketing agency for 13 years. And I started at that company. I started as a receptionist and then I became the office manager and I did the HR and I did all the accounts and I handwrote all the accounts in ledgers and added it up, with a calculator. Doing the profit and loss and stuff at the end of every month, the balance sheets with the credit, sales ledger, purchase ledger. I did HR, I did recruitment, and it was a marketing agency. And so as I went through over the 13 years, I had different roles. And by the time I left, I worked in the studio with the clients. I was client facing and I worked on projects and I did the marketing for the company itself, sending newsletters, running Twitter accounts, like doing all this stuff. So when I left my job to start my own business making cakes, I had all of that knowledge. I had all of those skills. Yes, it was on a much bigger scale, um, but I could tone it all down and make systems and things work for me in my business, doing my invoicing, keeping my accounts, doing my marketing, my social media. And that's how I ended up getting into mentoring and coaching and working with people on their businesses because I all of a sudden started meeting everybody else who was like, how do you know how to do all that stuff? And it came very naturally to me. And a lot of that stuff I enjoy. So I actually enjoy all of the sides of the business, creating the graphics, doing the social media. I actually love being on Facebook. People kind of rely about they kind of hate Facebook or they hate this. I love it. I love being there. I love creating the images. I love doing all the things. Like I create all these graphics and things myself. Um, I love building my website myself. Like I get it set up for me with the main design, but then I go and I edit it and do it all myself. So actually within the whole role of the whole of my business, I actually really enjoy a lot of it, not just what I do client facing. And so what my business needs from me, I can actually provide a lot of it myself. Now, that is not always the case. And so just because you have a business, it does not mean that you enjoy invoicing, or you are good at invoicing, or you are good at structure, or you are good at client feedback, or you are loving making the graphics and putting the social media out there and talking to things or going to networking. So separating this whole, what does your business need from you, from someone else? Is the question that sometimes we have to ask. So, what does your business need? Your business needs someone to do the accounts, someone to put together content, or some way of reaching your clients and making you discoverable, making you visible. It needs some kind of visibility strategy, discoverability strategy. It needs people to tie up loose ends. It needs you to be able to share your voice. Um, and what do you need from it? What do you need from the business? What does the business need to give you? Does the business need to, support you financially? Does the business need to give you a creative outlet? Does the business need to give you freedom and flexibility? So, starting to ask these questions, what does your business need from you? So what does your business need? What are the needs of the business? What are the needs from you that you can show up and you can do and that work with you? And then what are the parts that actually somebody else needs to do? But also then asking the question, what do I need from the business? What does it need to give me? And so how do I construct that together as a whole piece? And so it's like, what does it need from me? What do I need from it? How do we make that work? And part of the whole human design and the success codex piece is always creating an awareness of the you in the middle. What are your natural talents? What is the natural energy that you are always going to be drawn towards? So you can create some awareness of that. And then you can start to actually make sure that the business is not asking something of you that is draining your energy and it's gonna end up making you fall out of love with the business that you created in the first place. So that's just a little exercise, some questions that you can go through and really start to separate, although in some extent, it might feel like you are the business. You're the face of the business. You're the person doing all the work. You're the brand. You're everything. You're not the business. They are two separate entities. And actually, sometimes separating those out can be really helpful and really insightful into what's actually going on. What do I need? What does it need? Can I do it? Do I want to do it? Can I get somebody else to do it? Do I change the business to an extent? Because the way it's set up at the moment, it has all these needs that I do not want to fulfill. I don't want to get someone else in, so I change the business to match. So it's always looking at both parts and doing that. So yeah, that's my invitation to you today is looking at those questions like what does the business need? What do you need? And how do they come together? How do they match?